Alright, so let's see how to use a screen orientation API. So head over to my website and we see we have the screen orientation here. We can click this and read the official documentation, but I've summed it up for you. So all we have to do is copy this command here to install it to our project. Navigate to your project folder. In my case, it's on my desktop. New. So I'm in my project folder, and then I paste that command in here, Cordova, and I hit enter, and it installs or adds the plugin to my project. Now I can use it after that command is run. And once that's added to my project, I can then go back to my project folder, which is here. I can then go into www folder and I can edit it. So I've deleted my other folders and I have edited this index.html file in my www folder. Let's edit it with Notepad++. So we have the bare bones of our app. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to create a new internal script here at the bottom, and I'm going to put whatever I want in here. Now, to show you an example of using the screen orientation, let's go back to my website. Let's note here that we must use this, or we should use this event listener device ready in order to ensure that all of our plugins have loaded successfully before we attempt to use them. So what we will do, we just copy that code from my website. We can remove the comments, and what this is an event listener. So this is the name of the event, and this is our event handler, or the function that we define that will run when this event is automatically triggered or fired. And this is just the order the events run. We'll just leave it as false. Don't worry too much about that. And so this now is our event handler a function. Notice no brackets here because we just want the function definition. But anyway, just remember, don't put brackets here. And this could have been any name we wanted, but we'll leave it as that. And in here we will then add our event listeners. Once the device is ready, we know we can safely access our event listeners. So to do that, let's scroll down to the screen orientation now. Let's do a simple example. So let's copy this code. So we have two options. Either we use this setup where the function is in here, or we could use the onChange function method. This part where we assign a function to the onChange attribute, I guess. But either one is fine. So we will do this one, which is seen a lot often. We just copy that, we come back here, and let's paste that in here. And let's make it a little neat. Whoops. So what this is screen.orientation add event listener. So basically this is the API that we get access to when we install that plugin earlier. So all we have to do, this is going to listen for a change event in the screen orientation. We just copy this code. We don't worry too much about it. Follow the format. Now, we can log, what this is doing is logging what the screen orientation is right now. So we can actually change that to an alert and test it out. So you get an idea of what the screen, how to use the screen orientation API. Now, it doesn't have to be an alert. You can put anything you want in this function. You could maybe turn on the light, the torch light, when the orientation changes, or when it's in portrait mode. You could have an if statement. If the orientation is portrait or landscape, you can test that. So just to show you quickly how this works, we will save that and we will build this app for our device. So let's Cordova emulate Android. And we have our emulator running. So now it's launched. So we have a blank screen. We didn't actually do anything. So let's change the screen orientation. Right, so for the orientation to work, if we change the screen orientation, nothing happens. Remember, we have to also, on the emulator or your phone, we have to make sure the auto rotate is enabled. And so let's rotate. And we get an alert, landscape secondary. Okay. Let's rotate again. Let's rotate, landscape primary. Okay. Portrait primary. So that's simple enough. So let's do an example with the screen orientation. So we can maybe have an H1 element. Let's say hello world, or work. Let's give it an ID. ID equal maybe orient. Good. Let's come down here. Let's maybe do if screen.orientation.type is equal to, maybe let's go back to the website and see what we have. So it can either be portrait primary, secondary, I guess that's upside down, landscape primary, and upside down landscape. So let's maybe check landscape primary. And so if it's equal to landscape primary, maybe we wanna, maybe let's document, you know the drill, get element by ID, and orient is the ID, dot inner HTML equals I am in landscape mode, I guess. So if this function is getting a bit big and we want to be neater, what we could do, we could just cut that out of there, and we, outside of there, we could then define a function. Let's say function orientation, I guess. And we could format the code nicely. Good. So what we have here is this function here. What we'll do is our event handler. Now notice we put that function name in here without brackets because it's going to be the function definition. Just remember no brackets in there. So when that event is triggered, when the screen is rotated, it'll simply call this function. Instead of writing out this function all in here, we've simply declared a function outside, and we can then put anything we want in this function and call it up here. So in this case, if the screen orientation is landscape primary, we will get an alert, and we will get, if it is in landscape mode, it'll change the HTML element, the heading text. So let's see how that works. Let's save that, and then let's deploy it. Good, so we're in here, let's rotate. Alert, landscape secondary, okay. Doesn't change the text. We want to be in landscape primary, right? And then, no, notice it doesn't give an alert because something, I don't know if it's to do with documentation, when it's rotated 108 degrees, it wouldn't trigger. Now, we've triggered landscape primary. We press OK. And it says I am in landscape mode. Now, you can make this simple example as complicated as you like. However, I've just demonstrated how that works. And we are good to go. You can combine it with the other APIs, the vibration, the torchlight, maybe the speech, maybe get it to talk to you if you rotate the phone. Possibilities are there.